Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will explore a secret that lies not in some faraway place, but right inside each of us. It is a source of limitless power that determines our health, success, and peace. This power is called inner energy. Together, we will learn how to stop being victims of circumstance and instead become the firm-handed captains who steer the ships of our own lives to the shores of tranquility and happiness. To begin, let's listen to an old story. Once upon a time, in a small village at the foot of a mountain, there were two woodcutters named Thatch and Anne. Both were equally healthy and went to the forest to chop wood every day. But their lives were completely different. Mr. Thatch was always in a state of hurry and heaviness. Every morning he woke up with a worried sigh. I wonder if I can chop enough wood today. What if it rains? What if I encounter a wild beast? On his way, he walked as if he were running, his mind always as tense as a guitar string. If a rock blocked his path, he would kick it aside in frustration. When he faced a steep slope, he would climb it while complaining. His entire workday was a tiring battle against everything around him. When he returned home at night, he was exhausted, couldn't eat well, couldn't sleep peacefully, and often suffered from aches and pains. Mr. Anne, on the other hand, was the opposite. Every morning upon waking, he would spend a few minutes sitting quietly, breathing in the fresh air. He would think to himself, "Thank you, heaven and earth, for another healthy day to work." On his way, he walked slowly. If he encountered a rock, he would gently step over it. When he faced a slope, he saw it as a challenge to build his endurance. He listened to the birds singing and admired the wild flowers along the path. He didn't see chopping wood as a burden, but as an opportunity to move his body and be in harmony with nature. When he returned home at night, though also tired, he felt a sense of relaxation and peace. He ate his meals with appetite, slept deeply, and woke up the next morning full of vitality. Why, with the same job and the same circumstances, did these two men have such different outcomes? The secret does not lie in their physical strength. The secret lies in their inner energy. Part 1. The River Within and the Captain. We often think of energy as something external. The energy from the sun, from food, from sleep. That is true, but it is not enough. There is a source of energy that is far more important, one that determines the quality of our lives. Inner energy. This energy is not a vague concept. It is the sum of our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. It is our life force, the vitality that flows through every muscle, every cell. Inner energy is like a river that flows within each of us. And the most important thing is this: you are the captain steering the boat on that river. You are not a dry leaf passively drifting along with the current. You have the oars, you have the rudder, you have the full power to decide where you will steer your boat. Let's look back at the story of the two woodcutters. Mr. Thatch had let his boat drift into a turbulent current of anxiety and frustration. Each of his negative thoughts was like a push, sending his boat into a whirlpool. He was constantly crashing into the rapids of complaint. His entire journey was filled with exhaustion and stress, wasting his energy uselessly. Mr. Anne, in contrast, was a skillful captain. He actively steered his boat into the calm stream of peace and gratitude. Each of his wholesome thoughts, each moment of appreciation for nature, was like a steady stroke of the oar, keeping his boat on the right course. He did not fight against the river. He skillfully flowed with it. He turned the slopes and the rocks into part of his journey. Therefore, even though he also worked hard, he felt at peace and preserved his energy. Many of us are living like Mr. Thatch. We let external circumstances, but it is you who decides whether to let it create small ripples that fade away, or to stir the entire river into a storm. Mastering inner energy is the journey of reclaiming your role as captain. It begins with a simple awareness, recognizing that you have a river within and you have the ability to direct its flow. Every morning when you wake up, you have a choice. Will you let your boat drift along the familiar current of weariness and worry? Or will you consciously take the oars with a thought of gratitude, a deep breath, to guide your boat into the stream of clarity and peace? Inner energy is not separate from you. It is your very essence. It is the expression of your soul. When you begin to realize this, you will no longer be a victim of life. You will become a co-creator, an artist, sculpting your own life, with the very energy that flows from your heart and mind. Part 2. The oar of intention and the sail of emotion. Now that we recognize we are the captain, the next question is, how do we steer our energy boat effectively? What tools does a captain need to use? There are two incredibly powerful tools that the universe has gifted to each of us. They are the oar of intention and the sail of emotion. First, let's talk about the oar of intention. Intention is the direction you want your boat to go. If you don't have a clear intention, your boat will just drift aimlessly. An intention is like planting a flag on the other side of the river and saying, "That is where I am going." Let's look at Mr. N's story again. Every morning, his intentions was very clear. Today, I will live a peaceful day in harmony with nature. This very intention became his guiding compass, helping him make small choices throughout the day. When he faced a steep slope, instead of complaining, an aimless action, he remembered his intention and chose to see it as a challenge, a purposeful action. Intention is like a magnet. It organizes the chaotic energy streams in the mind, directing them all towards a single goal. Many of us live without a clear intention. We let life drift wherever it may. We react to circumstances instinctively. As a result, our energy river is often very weak and scattered. It's like the light from a bare bulb, shining in all directions but not strong enough to illuminate an object far away. But when you act with a clear intention, your energy becomes like a laser beam. All its power is focused on a single point. Even a small action, when performed with a strong intention, has extraordinary transformative power. For example, when you cook a meal, if you cook unconsciously, it is just a chore. But if you cook with the intention, I want to cook a meal full of love and nourishment to care for my family, then every act of chopping vegetables and seasoning is infused with a different energy. That energy will go into the food, and the people who eat it will feel it. That is why a mother's cooking is always the most delicious, not because of the recipe, but because it is filled with her loving intention. If the oar of intention determines the direction, then the sail of emotion determines the speed and power of the boat. Emotion is the fuel, the wind that propels your boat forward. If you row your boat with the emotions of frustration and boredom, it's like trying to sail with a torn sail against the wind. You will have to exert a lot of effort, yet the boat will move very slowly, or even be pushed backward. That was Mr. Thatch's situation. He also had the intention to chop wood, but because the sail of his emotions was always filled with the headwind of anxiety and complaint, his journey was incredibly tiring. Conversely, when you act with positive emotions like love, gratitude, and joy, it's like unfurling a great sail to catch a favorable wind. Your boat will glide along smoothly and swiftly, without much effort. Mr. N, with his sail of gratitude, turned the work of chopping wood into a pleasant excursion. Modern science has also shown that when we have positive emotions, our body releases chemicals that enhance energy, focus, and creativity. Positive emotions help your inner energy to flow harmoniously, bringing health, clear thinking, and the ability to make effective decisions. Therefore, the formula for mastering energy is simple. Combine a clear intention with a positive emotion. Before you start any task, whether it's writing an email or cleaning the house, pause for a second. Set your intention. I will do this with the utmost focus and efficiency. Then, generate a positive emotion to serve as your fuel. Think of something you are grateful for, or smile a genuine smile. Just by doing that, you have fully charged your inner energy. When you act with clear intention, positive emotion, and consistency, your energy will become more focused and powerful than ever before. You will no longer be someone pushed around by circumstances, but will become a lighthouse. Part 3. The true nature of energy. You don't have energy. You are energy. We often say, "I'm out of energy," or "I need to recharge my energy." This way of speaking inadvertently creates a misunderstanding. It makes us think that energy is something separate from us, like gasoline in a car. When the gas runs out, we have to go get more. But the truth is much more profound. Energy is not separate from you. It is your very essence. You don't have energy. You are energy. Think of a flame. We cannot separate the flame from its heat and light. The heat and light are the expressions, the very nature of the flame. Similarly, we human beings are not solid physical bodies that contain a lump of energy inside. Our entire being, from our physical body, our thoughts, to our emotions, are all different expressions of a single, vibrant field of energy. Scientists, especially quantum physicists, after deeply studying the nature of matter, have come to a startling conclusion. They have discovered that at the smallest level, nothing is solid. Everything is just packets of vibrating energy. The table, the chair, and even your body are, in essence, just a dance of billions upon billions of energy particles. When we understand this, we gain a completely new perspective on health and illness. Illness, in its essence, is not just a problem of organs or body parts. It is a blockage, an imbalance in the flow of energy in the body. Let's return to the story of Mr. Thach. Why did he so often suffer from aches and pains? Because every worried thought, every frustrated emotion he had, created a contraction in his energy field. Just like when you get angry, your muscles tense up. If this tension happens continuously, it will obstruct the flow of qi and blood, of life force. Wherever the energy is blocked, that's where pain and illness will arise. Mr. Thach was not just sick, he was a state of sick energy. Mr. An, on the other hand, with his peaceful and grateful mindset, always kept his energy field in a relaxed and open state. The flow of energy in his body was always circulating harmoniously. That is why, despite also working hard, his body was able to recover better, and he suffered less from pain. He was a state of healthy energy. When you understand that you are energy, you will no longer seek health only from medicine or food from the outside. You will realize that the most powerful healing medicine is the ability to adjust your own energy state. There is a very simple practice that anyone can do to experience this. It is called the inner smile. Try it right now. Sit up straight comfortably, close your eyes, and imagine that you are smiling, not just with your lips, but with your whole heart, with every cell in your body. Imagine a warm, gentle smile radiating from your chest. Let the energy of that smile spread throughout your body, up to your face, relaxing the facial muscles, down to your shoulders, melting away any burdens, down into your abdomen, soothing your internal organs, down to your legs, bringing a sense of stability. You don't need to do anything. Just smile from within and feel. You will immediately notice a change. Your body will feel warmer, your mind will become calmer. You are directly changing the vibrational state of your own energy field. You are healing yourself. Our energy doesn't just affect our health. It also determines how we interact with the world. A person carrying a contracted, heavy energy field, upon entering a room, will inadvertently make the atmosphere feel oppressive. A person carrying an open, bright energy field will bring light and warmth wherever they go. So, always remember that every second, every minute, you are not just living. You are an energy broadcasting station. The important question is not, what will I do today? But who will I be today? Will you choose to be an energy field of anxiety or an energy field of peace? That choice is entirely in your hands, and it will determine everything. Part 4. The Fortress of Inner Strength, when energy becomes invincible. Power. Once we have learned how to steer and realize the nature of our inner energy, we will begin to build something incredibly precious. It is not money or status. It is a strong fortress from within. A fortress built with the very energy of self-mastery and peace. The ancients called it inner strength. Inner energy is the decisive factor in an individual's resilience and success. Why is it that some people, no matter how many storms and adversities they face, still stand firm and rise up, while others collapse at the slightest difficulty? The difference does not lie in talent or luck. It lies in the power of their inner energy. A person with weak inner strength has a depleted and chaotic river of energy. They are very easily affected by external factors. A single word of criticism from someone else is enough to make them feel down all day. A small failure is enough to make them lose all faith. They are like a small, rudderless boat in the open sea, tossed about by every wave of public opinion and circumstance. Their life is a series of reactions to the external world, rather than a proactive creation of their own world. But an individual who has mastered their energy is completely different. Their river of energy is always full and flows harmoniously. They have built a solid fortress of inner strength. Therefore, they are difficult to control by social pressure or fear. Imagine two people who are both unjustly criticized by their superior. The person with weak inner strength will feel hurt, angry, and may carry that frustration home, taking it out on their loved ones. The superior's words have breached their fortress, causing chaos. But what about the person with strong inner strength? They also hear those words. They might also feel a little discomfort at first, but they do not let those words invade and control their energy. They have a protective shield. That shield is awareness. They recognize, this is his emotion, not mine. This is his problem, not mine. They can listen, absorb what is reasonable, and gently let go of what is the other person's negative emotion. They are not poisoned. They maintain their inner peace. This strength is not callousness or indifference. On the contrary, it comes from a deep sensitivity and understanding. A person with strong inner strength is not someone who feels no fear. They still feel fear, but they do not let fear master them. Listen to the story of an old general. Before every major battle, he never showed any panic. The night before the fight, while his soldiers were restless with anxiety, he would sit calmly in his tent, light a lamp, and meditate or practice calligraphy. Someone asked him, "General, are you not afraid?" The general smiled. "Of course I am afraid, but what good does worrying do? My job is not to be led by fear, but to lead fear along with me. I allow it to be there, but I do not let it climb into the commander's seat." That general was a master of inner energy. He knew that in the most critical moments, what determines victory or defeat is not physical strength, but the stillness of the mind. A cool head, a warm heart, and a stable energy. He did not waste his energy on worrying. He conserved it, focused it, and only unleashed it at the decisive moment. We are the same. In our daily lives, we face many small battles, work pressure, family conflicts, financial worries. If we do not build our fortress of inner strength, we will be constantly worn down by these battles, leaving us exhausted. So how do we build this fortress? Let's start with small things. Every day, set aside a quiet time for yourself, even if it's just 5-10 minutes. Sit still, do nothing. Just let the river of your energy settle. Practice observing your thoughts and emotions without being carried away. Every time you do this, you are adding another brick to your fortress. Practice saying no to things that drain your energy needlessly. Endless arguments on social media, negative gossip, toxic relationships. You don't have to fight them. Just gently withdraw to preserve your energy for more important things. When you have a strong fortress of inner strength, you will discover an immense freedom. You no longer need external validation to feel worthy. You no longer fear the judgment of others. You live from your own center. You become the sun, shining your own light. No longer a planet that just revolves around and reflects. Part 5. The Harmonious Flow. The Secret to Health and Clarity. We have talked about building a strong inner fortress to protect ourselves from external invasions. But a strong fortress alone is not enough. Inside that fortress, the river of our energy needs to flow harmoniously and peacefully. Because if that river is blocked or flows chaotically, then no matter how strong the fortress is, our inner kingdom cannot have joy and prosperity. The harmonious flow of inner energy is the secret to a healthy body and a clear mind. Imagine our body is like a rice paddy. Inner energy is the irrigation water for that paddy. If the water is clean and flows evenly to every plant, the paddy will be lush and the plants will bear fruit. That is a healthy body. But if the water is polluted or its flow is blocked, with some places dry and others flooded, then the paddy will become barren and diseased. That is an unhealthy body. So what determines the purity and harmony of this river of energy? It is the quality of the emotions that we nurture every day. Negative emotions like anxiety, fear, anger, and envy are like toxins and garbage dumped into our river of energy. They cause the flow to contract, become blocked, and turn toxic. As we discussed earlier, anger makes the heart beat faster and blood pressure rise. Anxiety causes the stomach to clench. Chronic sadness weakens the immune system. This is not mystical. These are real biochemical reactions. When we constantly nurture these emotions, we are poisoning our own river. Conversely, positive emotions like love, gratitude, and joy are like drops of divine nectar. Like pure lotus flowers released into the river, they have the ability to purify and harmonize the flow of energy. They bring health, clear thinking, and the ability to make effective decisions. Let's talk about the energy of love. Love in its true sense is not clinging or possession. It is an expansive energy, an acceptance and a wish for the well-being of others. When you feel love, whether it's for family, friends, or even a pet, don't you feel your chest to warm up and open? Science has shown that when we are in a state of love, the brain releases oxytocin, a hormone that creates feelings of connection and safety and reduces stress. The river of your energy, at that moment, flows very gently and healingly. Or the energy of gratitude. As we have learned, gratitude helps the brain release happiness chemicals. It brings the heart into a state of harmonious coherence. When you practice gratitude, you are directly cleaning the water of your energy. All the dregs of complaint and lack are washed away, leaving a clear stream of abundance and the energy of joy. The joy here is not loud excitement, but a simple delight, a simple pleasure in being alive. It can come from watching a flower bloom, listening to a beautiful piece of music, or playing with a child. When you are truly in that joy, don't you feel all burdens seem to disappear? Joy is a very high-frequency energy. It makes your inner river flow vibrantly and freshly, washing away all stagnation. Therefore, nurturing positive emotions is not a sentimental or weak act. It is an incredibly wise and necessary action to protect our health and clarity. It is the work of a diligent farmer, daily pulling out the weeds, negative emotions, and cultivating the wholesome plants, positive emotions, in the field of their soul. You don't have to wait for perfect external conditions to feel love or gratitude. You can actively create them from within. Every day, take some time to think about the people you love. Take a few minutes to write down the things you are grateful for. Allow yourself to do the small things that you truly enjoy. When you do that, you are not just making yourself feel better. You are performing a profound medical act. You are concocting the most precious healing medicines from the pharmaceutical factory inside your own body. You are purifying and harmonizing your inner river of energy. And when that river is clean and harmonious, then naturally, the paddy field of your life will also blossom. Part 6. Mastering Energy. Mastering life through the previous parts, we have explored a fundamental truth. The quality of our lives does not depend on what happens on the outside, but on how we master and direct the flow of energy on the inside. Inner energy not only determines our health and peace, but it is also the core element that creates a person's strength, freedom, and capacity for success. Simply put, to master your energy is to master your life. Let's look at the world around us. We will see two types of people. The first type are those who live in a state of reaction. Their life is like an endless game of table tennis. Circumstances serve a ball, and they rush to hit it back, and so they are constantly caught up in the rhythm of others, of external events. Someone praises them, they are happy. Someone criticizes them, they are sad. Work goes well, they are excited. Work becomes difficult, they get discouraged. They are like a ship without a captain, letting the winds and waves of life dictate their course. Their energy is constantly drained by these unconscious reactions, leaving them always feeling tired and helpless. The second type are those who live in a state of creation. They also live in the same world and face the same challenges. But instead of just reacting, they actively create their own reality from within. They are the ones who have learned to master their inner energy. They are the firm-handed captains. When faced with criticism, instead of reacting with anger, they pause, observe their energy flow, and choose a wise action. They have built an inner fortress, not allowing negative energies from the outside to invade. When faced with failure, instead of drowning in disappointment, they see it as a lesson, an opportunity to grow. They know how to transform the energy of failure into the energy of perseverance and determination. They are not defeated by circumstances. They use circumstances to make themselves stronger. When they set a goal, they don't just work with physical strength. They know how to focus their energy with a clear intention and a positive emotion. They turn work into a flow of creativity and passion. Therefore, they work more effectively with less fatigue. This is the fundamental difference. One side lets their energy be controlled. The other side actively controls their energy. One side is a slave to circumstances. The other is the master of their life. This power is not something sublime, reserved only for Zen masters or specially gifted people. It is a skill, and like any other skill, it can be trained. It begins with very small choices throughout the day. When you wake up, do you choose to start the day with a grateful thought or with a sigh? That is you choosing the energy for your entire day. When someone annoys you, do you choose to react immediately? Or do you choose to take a deep breath and give yourself a moment of pause? That is you choosing to be the master or the slave of your emotions. When you have free time, do you choose to scroll through your phone mindlessly? Or do you choose to read a few pages of a book, listen to some music, or simply sit still and observe your breath? That is you, choosing to recharge or to drain your energy. Our lives are woven from these small choices. Every conscious choice is another time you are reinforcing the authority of the captain. Every unconscious reaction is another time you are surrendering your oar to the waves. Mastering energy does not mean your life will no longer have difficulties. Storms will still come, but you will no longer be a panicked victim. You will become a skillful surfer. You learn to ride the waves, using the very power of the waves to propel yourself forward. You find joy and growth in the very challenges themselves. This is true freedom. Freedom is not the absence of problems, but having enough inner strength to overcome all problems. Freedom is not about controlling the external world, but about mastering the inner world. When you have mastered your energy, you will no longer be shaken by the ups and downs of life. You will find a peace, a stability that cannot be taken away, because it comes from the very center of your being. Part 7. The Journey of Return. Sowing. Wholesome energy seeds. Daily, we have journeyed together a long way to discover the infinite source of power that lies within each of us. We have understood that we are the captains of our life's ship, and that our inner energy is the river that determines our voyage. So now, the most important question is, how do we begin? How can an ordinary person, amidst the hustle and bustle of life, begin the journey of mastering their energy in a concrete and effective way? This path does not require us to go to a faraway place or to do extraordinary things. This path begins right here, right now, with small but consistent actions, like sowing wholesome seeds in the garden of our soul every day. First, begin your day with 5 golden minutes for energy. Instead of jumping out of bed and rushing into the daily grind, give yourself 5 precious minutes. As soon as you wake up, sit quietly in bed. Don't reach for your phone. Start by stretching and smiling at the new day, a genuine smile from within. Then practice the inner smile that we talked about. Let the energy of peace spread throughout your body. Finally, set a clear intention for the day. It doesn't have to be anything grand. It could be as simple as, today I will try to be a little more patient, or today I will look for good things to be grateful for. These 5 minutes will be like starting the engine and fully charging the battery of your ship before setting sail. Second, throughout the day, learn to dwell in the breath. The breath is the most miraculous anchor that helps us return to the present and master our energy. Whenever you feel stressed, anxious, or irritated, don't try to fight it. Remember your breath. Just pause, even for just 10 seconds. Take a deep breath in, feeling the fresh air entering, bringing new energy. Exhale very slowly, feeling all the tension and fatigue being released. Just a few conscious breaths like that are enough to calm the waves in your inner river, helping you to regain control. Third, practice eating mindfully. A meal is not just for refueling the body. It is also a wonderful opportunity to nourish the energy of the soul. Try, during each meal, to spend the first few minutes eating in silence. Look deeply into your bowl of rice. See in it the sunlight, the rain, the earth, the labor of the farmer. Chew very slowly, fully experiencing the taste of the food. When you eat with gratitude and full presence, that food not only nourishes your body, but it also becomes a source of peaceful energy, healing your soul. Finally, end your day with a gratitude journal. Every night before you go to sleep, take a few minutes to write down at least 3 things that made you feel grateful that day. Whether it was a smile from a colleague, a kind word from a friend, or simply an afternoon without a traffic jam. This practice will help you reprogram your brain, training it to focus on the positive instead of fixating on the negative. You will go to sleep with a light energy, and that is the best medicine for a deep and restful sleep. These practices cost nothing and do not require much time, but they require one thing: your consistency. It's like planting a tree. You cannot expect it to grow into a great tree overnight. You need to water it every day. Every time you practice, you are watering the seed of wholesome energy within you. Start today. Don't wait until you have more time, or until life becomes less difficult. The power to change is always in the present moment. By mastering these small actions, you are gradually mastering your inner river of energy. And when you have mastered that river, you will master your entire destiny. This is one of the videos in the Cosmic Energy series, where science and spirituality meet to help you better understand yourself and the evolution of consciousness. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. And finally, I would like to ask you a question. After listening to this, what is the first small practice you will choose to begin your journey of mastering your inner energy? Please share your intention in the comments, because an intention that is spoken is the first step to making it a reality.